So social video trends this year. So I think one thing is notable by its absence. We've had some really big events, so Olympics, presidential elections. There's actually been a relative dearth of successful content around those events. Also noticeable this year, it's still smaller brands, challenger brands, that are having greatest success. So if you look at the most successful videos this year, you've got Coney 2012, you've got TNT Dramatic Surprise, which is a small Belgian TV network, Abercrombie and Fitch, but where's Coke, where's Pepsi, where's some of the big CPG brands that they're still trying to get their heads around the space. Content creation, content marketing, it's very high on the list of strategic priorities for CMOs this year, and that will continue next. But of course, the reason it's a strategic priority is they're still trying to figure this stuff out. It's an acknowledgement that they're actually quite bad at this still. So I think one of the big challenges for brands right now is trying to understand how to make viral video, social video more predictable, more repeatable. There's obviously very little value to a brand if they can only get this right once every year or every couple of years. We've been working really closely with the Ehrenberg Bass Institute this year, looking at how you operationalize social video success. So looking at the sorts of things that makes content spread, and trying to understand that in a way that is more scientific and enables brands to understand what the triggers are so that they can be more repeatable and better able to predict what's going to work, so they can go back to their agencies and tune content and tune content strategy. When we talked a couple of months ago, we just launched our dynamic creative optimization module. So in an area where there is lots of uncertainty, where people have different cuts of content, this is really helpful. So we're continually testing which of several different cuts of a video is performing best, and indeed which is performing best with a particular target audience. So we can optimize the creative delivery against shareability, against word of mouth, against traffic driving, against duration, so dwell time, the amount of time people spend exposed to the brand. And we've already seen some really good early successes with this. So Halifax, we ran in the UK, so financial services provider. We've seen uplifts in the tens of percents. I think the highest we've seen so far is actually a bit over 80%. So if someone had just arbitrarily selected a video, we're getting 80% better performance than that because we're able to tune in real time. So again, this is, I think one of the big trends is better using data, better using optimization technologies in a space that seemed to be a little bit unscientific and rather random. And I think we can take a lot of the randomness out of the campaign performance. We've got some interesting new product in the pipeline. So something that we'll be launching a couple of weeks out actually builds on the work that we've been doing with the Ehrenberg Bass Institute, Wharton and Cass in the UK. So it is looking at emotional response to videos around sort of 18 different emotional states and affective states, and looking at how social motivation as well. So we can do panel testing at enough scale in the pre-testing phase before the campaign goes live, so we can actually have a really good sense and feedback to the client and their agency in terms of how effective that content is going to be. So I think this has been one of the missing links in terms of online content creation, is understanding the social dimension better. What makes content shareable? What makes people talk about that content and the brand online? And actually we're able to scientize that really quite a lot. And this is something that a lot of clients have been asking us for over the last 12 to 18 months. How you take a certain amount of the expertise that is already extant in the space, but bottle it and use it for brands in a way that means they can perform much better and much more repeatably, and get their agencies to understand not just what works from a brand strategy point of view, but what works in terms of social, why people share content. A lot of the pull that Unruly's been seeing over the last 12 months has been from clients and from ad agencies, not just the media buying services, so particularly around data and insight. So I mentioned content testing, content evaluation, that's one strand. Then at the other end of the campaign life cycle, sort of analytics and ROI. So much better understanding and modeling how digital word of mouth and indeed offline word of mouth, how that impacts sales, because that's what it all comes down to at the end of the day, not how many views one's racked up on YouTube. That's kind of like an interim metric at the moment. People don't really know how best to measure success, but I think we'll see a real move away from the video view, from the YouTube view count as being the hallmark of success, towards actually how the word of mouth that's sparked by a campaign, how that's impacting sales.